Bloodletting. Rick carried Carl across the open fields, feet pounding against the dry ground, with Shane close behind him. The farmhouse ahead seemed miles away, but Rick didn't slow down, driven by the weak breaths of his son against his chest. Hershel Green stood at the porch, took one look, and ushered them inside with an urgent wave. Inside, Hershel worked fast, giving orders in a steady voice. Rick clung to Carl's side, holding the IV tube while blood trickled from his own arm. Lori arrived soon after, her face pale as she stumbled to Carl's bedside, fighting the panic clawing at her throat. No one spoke more than necessary. Fear moved through the room like a bitter wind. At the highway, the others returned from the forest with empty hands and dark expressions. No sign of Sophia. The search had left them battered in body and spirit. Daryl muttered promises they couldn't quite believe anymore. Lori wasted no time. She demanded Shane take her back to Carl, her mind already halfway to the farmhouse before the truck even started. Back at the farm, Hershel told them the truth. Carl needed surgical equipment they didn't have. Without it, he wouldn't last long. Shane and Otis volunteered to find what was needed at a nearby school. Neither man said it out loud, but they knew the trip could cost them everything. The school had been abandoned long ago, the broken parking lot scattered with debris. Shane and Otis crept between rusted-out cars, listening for the scrape of footsteps behind every corner. The silence gave no comfort. They gathered supplies as fast as they could, feeling the dead beginning to close in. Inside the farmhouse, Rick grew weaker as he gave blood to Carl. Lori wiped Carl's face gently, speaking to him in a low voice filled with promises of home and family. Hershel worked steadily, his jaw tight, while Maggie hovered nearby, chewing her lip until it bled. Every second felt stolen. Shane and Otis ran into trouble before they could make it out. Shapes emerged from behind wrecked vehicles, stumbling toward them with relentless hunger. Shane shouted for Otis to move, covering him with quick bursts from his weapon, but their window for escape was narrowing fast. At the highway, T-Dog fought to stay awake, his forehead burning. Daryl scavenged through the remnants of an old camper and tossed a bottle of pills to Dale, not wasting time with words. Their camp had grown quieter, the weight of missing friends hanging in the air like heavy smoke. Night rolled across the sky. Rick, barely able to sit up, refused to leave Carl's side. Lori sat by the bed, her hand resting on her son's chest, feeling each shallow breath. The farmhouse, filled with old furniture and fading photographs, became a place where the living held their ground against the pull of loss. Trapped against a chain-link fence with the dead closing in, Shane made his choice. Wrestling the supplies free, he sprinted toward the truck, leaving Otis behind. The shouts faded behind him as he drove off, staring straight ahead, knowing he carried not just medicine, but the price of what it meant to survive.